prepare for the arrival of Nigel Benn with, appropriately enough, the chimes of Big Ben. And for so many of Benn's opponents, they have been the chimes of doom. Oh, bring on the dancing girls, and let's bring on Nigel. Malinga, not impressed. Benn, well, that record speaks for itself. The 2 defeats against Michael Watson and Chris Eubank. Those wins have taken him to the WBO Middleweight Championship of the World. Promoter Barry Hearn. Nigel, rude boy, Benn. Well, we got away from the Dark Destroyer. He's a rude boy now.
My lords, ladies and gentlemen, promoted by Matchroom in association with Ron Gray Promotions, we are proud to present the main attraction of the evening, an international super middleweight contest at 12 stone, over 10 rounds each of 3 minutes duration. Your referee for the contest is Paul Thomas of Derby, your timekeeper Roy Bicknell, your British Boxing Board of Control steward in charge Dave Roden, and your matchmaker Frank Turner. Presenting and introducing to you in the red corner with the red shorts from Lady Smith the Towel, the reigning South African super middleweight champion Thulani Sugarboy Malinga. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent in the blue corner with the red and the black striped shorts from Ilford, the former WBO middleweight champion of the world, Nigel Benn!
Great reception, Dave, great reception.
Well, we've come to expect nothing less from Nigel.
Both boxers scale 12 stone exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.
Well, Alan Hughes doing the honour. Both boys weighing exactly 12 stone. That's 168 pounds, bang on the championship limit.
Team Benn get out the ring.
Paul Thomas, the referee. This is scheduled for 10. Both boys wearing red. Nigel Benn in the red boxing boots.
And he's now neatly attired cycle trunks.
Yes, the black cycling shorts underneath Benn's black and red trunks. And remember, Malinga has been decked before, but he's never been stopped by any of his opponents.
I think he's got one stoppage on his record, which was a disqualification.
Now, that was a disqualification, as we said earlier, Jim, that's right.
This is basically durability against power. can almost see the faults of Malinga, just wondering how hard Nigel Benn hits. I'm sure he'll find the answer out when he hits him on the chin.
Well, the crowd have come to see Benn bomb out Malinga. That's what they want.
Let's not forget though, Dave, that Malinga's a crafty old professional. He's fought for 3 world championships, and he's mixed in good class over and over again.
All the days when Benn would just crush opponents inside a round perhaps are gone. But he's a feared opponent in the super middle division, and he says there's no reason he can't become a world champion at 3 weights, middle, super middle and light heavy. He certainly punches like a light heavy.
And so Malinga's mentality must be based on the fact that they're calling this fight, anything you could do I can do better with relatives to sort of Chris Eubank, but I'm sure Malinga's thinking anything you can do I've seen before, because as I've already stated, he's mixed in very good class, and he's learned his craft.
Malinga, taller than Benn, outreaches him too.
Looks like a sizing up opening round though.
Inside the last 10 seconds. An even opening round. And as we follow Nigel Benn back to his corner, his cornerman, that's Graham Mountain just outside the ring, Peter de Freitas. Let me just quickly explain to everyone watching this in South Africa and in the United States, in Asia too, a quick word about the scoring system in British fights. Only the referee scores. There are no ringside judges. The winner of a round gets 10 points. The loser of a round gets 9.5 points. If there's a knockdown, the loser will get 9 points. But the other big thing to remember is there is no mandatory 8 count in British boxing rings.
Second out, round 2.
Paul Thomas waiting for the bell. Here he comes, round 2. Malinga in the white boxing boots, Benn in the red boxing boots.
You can almost feel a fuse ready to be lit.
And if Malinga is overawed by Benn, he's not showing it.
I personally don't think he is.
Remember the American journeyman Lindsey Morgan came over last year and gave Benn a really hard workout and only lost a 10-round points decision by half a point, 1 round, and that was too close for Nigel Benn's comfort. The big upset if Thulani Malinga were to do the same.
Benn has really reconstructed his boxing style, like you used to saying. He used to be all mayhem and let shots go, as he crazily did successfully against Barkley. Now you see the more reserved Nigel Benn taking his time and pacing things out.
Last opponent we featured against Benn on Screen Sport was the Argentinian Hector Lascano, and he was quite tough, and he lasted 3 rounds though. That was back in December. Since then, Benn has accounted for Dan Sherry. Didn't take him long to do that.
Good shot from Malinga,
Caught Benn. He did indeed.
Good right hand.
And let us not forget that Malinga wobbled Chris Eubank once or twice in their 12-rounder.
So the thing is, you've got to remember is this guy's mixed in top class, and I personally think it'd be better for Nigel to really steamroller him and jump on him, get the power shots on.
And this is what he's trying to do in the second.
If he tries to play patience with him, he could get nailed with a sucker shot. And it's too late to regret it then. Now Nigel's got to do what comes natural.
Well, Benn wanted Malinga to show that he could do a better job on the South African than Chris Eubank. Malinga sees this fight as maybe another route to a fourth title fight.
Absolutely. Benn's the #1 contender for the WBO, and Malinga's already stated that if he can get the win on his record, he wants to return with Chris Eubank.
Yeah, and let's not forget that he took Eubank to a split points decision.
He's got the ingredients to turn into a real beating fight. Heartbeater, I mean.
Last 10.
Good all action man.
Benn working hard to the body. We go back with Nigel Benn. In the ring with him, Graham Mountain, the former captain of the Great Britain Olympic amateur boxing team. And Thulani Sugarboy Malinga. That's Nick Durant in the ring with him, just outside the ring. On the left, that's Don Agerson, local fighter, runs a gym here in Birmingham, called the Cauliflower Gym, would you believe?
Let's have a pick up at the exchange here. Nigel in his customary position of forcing his opponent onto the ropes. There you see him crunching left, taking a good right hand in return. But you can see Malinga here coming back with a stiff jab and looking to nail Benn with a right hand. Unfortunately, Nigel was ducking and diving and it didn't land flush. But good action.
Second out, round 3.
Third round of this scheduled 12-rounder, live at the National Indoor Arena, or 10-rounder, my apologies. 10-rounder, no titles at stake, of course, live at the National Indoor Arena in Birmingham. Live all over Europe, on SABC in South Africa, on Prime Network in the USA, and on Star in Asia. Nigel Benn, Thulani Sugarboy Malinga.
Well, I noticed at the end of the last round when Nigel returned to his corner, he gave a confident wink. So maybe he's happy with the way things are going, but he's got a live wire in front of him. This guy's up for the fight, Malinga. He knows it's his last chance of the big time.
Yes, this really is Malinga's last shot at the big time. If he loses here, it's difficult to see what future he has in professional boxing at the age of 32. Fights in his homeland in South Africa, to be sure, but on a world scene, I think not.
I'll tell you what, it's tit for tat at the moment.
Good right hand from Malinga.
He's dangerous with that counter. That right hand is a message Benn needs to tighten up his act. He can't walk onto that.
And we know he's got a good left hook too, because that's the punch he really shook Chris Eubank with.
He can't afford to just walk in and take them right hands flush, Nigel.
And let us not forget either that Benn's 2 defeats have both been inside the distance.
Nigel really needs to lay the hammer on him and gain some respect, because Malinga's starting to get a feel for the job now. He's loading up with a right hand and causing Benn problems.
This has not been a bad round by any manner of means for Malinga. Benn trying to get the jab to work. Trying to pepper out the jab, but a lot of them are falling short. And when it comes to the jab, Malinga is out jabbing him.
I'm interested the way Malinga's so poised. Interesting to watch him go about it. Very cool.
This is a good round for Thulani Sugarboy Malinga. but he caught that right hand. That wasn't good for him. There is the bell. Live at the National Indoor Arena in Birmingham, David Brenner, Jimmy McDonald taking you through Nigel Benn against Thulani's Sugar Boy Malinga. Big right hand from Benn right on the bell at the end of last round, Jim.
It was a real blockbusting shot, and Malinga showed his credentials, Dave, because he's still there now.
Again, let me remind you that Malinga has never been stopped inside the distance. The one fight that did end inside the distance in his career record, that was a disqualification. He's been put down before. We saw Eubank put him down. But that is as far as it's gone.
Well, at the moment, it's very evenly contested and really nothing in it.
Well, I think Ben has had something of a jolt to find that he's got a very talented opponent in front of him, and one who's not afraid to take shots and who's not afraid to take him on.
And he's not afraid to take chances. You know, there's a good little combination there, Dave. 3 shots, double jab and a right hand. Nigel absorbed it, and he's got to think about this task in hand. It's not going to be easy.
Well, Malinga is not renowned as a big puncher, just 13 stoppage wins out of 33 wins. So that percentage does not suggest a big punch, but he's had Ben back on his heels a couple of times.
He's so well poised, he's nicely tucked up, good. You could call him a thoroughbred professional, really, you know. Just have a look at his stance, Dave. He's not going to take sloppy chances. Very, very commanding. Minimum of movement as well, pacing the fight out, obviously. And Nigel needs to be careful. He wants to work for his openings and start introducing a little bit of feinting. Use the jab to set him up and not just lunge in, because he's going to get nailed by that right hand counter. He's already been warned.
Malinga dodging those punches well, and let us not forget that when you're in with a man with as big a shot as Ben, every minute that passes, your confidence grows. You take a couple of shots, you're still there, you start getting a little adventurous on your own account, and that's exactly what Malinga is doing.
It looks to me, Dave, like he's really got a feel for the task now, Malinga. This could become very, very difficult, unless, of course, Nigel pulls out what we call the equaliser. With Nigel, it's always possible.
And this is certainly a much more impressive Thulani Malinga fighting Nigel Benn than the one who unsuccessfully challenged Chris Eubank for the WBO title.
Now, I know Nigel's got ideas about going to America, and his corner got the same ideas. Peter DeFreitas, who's working in his corners, actually were in the gloves nowadays, which they've introduced. To pick up the action, though, which has been hectic. You see Nigel trying to fire off. Back comes Malinga with 2 accurate punches there, a left and a straight right hand, bang on the target.
Yeah, so I think Nick Durant there is more than happy with Malinga's progress so far in this contest. There is very little in it so far.
4 is 10 seconds.
He's done his homework, obviously, and he's done it very well. As for Nigel Benn,
Seconds out. Round 5.
Ben Mountain, Peter DeFreitas working with him as we start round 5.
This really is up for grabs in the point stakes right now, Dave. Nigel needs to become Nigel Benn of old and really swarm over this fella now and not try and get drawn into a chess game and a boxing match, because that suits Malinga.
Yes, well, Ben is not a man who gives opponents too much respect. And when you have a punch like he does, one of a very small number of fighters who has a genuine one-punch knockout finish.
With either hand.
Absolutely. And by knockout, I don't mean technical knockout, I mean 1 to 10 and you're on the canvas. But back comes Malinga. And he is certainly causing Ben all the problems he can handle at the moment. That body shot hurt.
The body shots could be his way through. He's shown a little ill effect when he's been nailed with a left hook round the side. And Nigel needs to employ that on a regular basis, because you won't break his spirit.
The action in Malinga's own corner at the moment. Then cuffs him round the ear.
He's been nailed himself on the counter there, Nigel. He seems to throw shots and then freeze statically almost for a split second and gets nailed with a counter. He really needs to stay absolutely 100% on the case. This is a fired up Malinga tonight. Now Ben going back to the old Dart Destroyer tactics.
Malinga's got to get off those ropes. Ben nailed him there.
He still looks very composed though, Dave, holding good poise, coming back with counters, and the crowd really responding to this tremendous action.
And suddenly it's Ben's turn to be on the receiving end. And this is something we haven't seen since the Eubank fight.
Just having a look at Malinga there, Dave. He's still very, very composed halfway through the contest, listening to his corner. He knows what's in front of him, and you know this is not going to be an easy night's work for Nigel Benn, and it certainly hasn't been easy so far. Nigel's still got it all to do. Just see, there you see Malinga pushing Ben backwards, and very accurate, Dave. Doesn't waste a shot. Look at the accuracy. Boom, there's the right hand, all on target.
Back comes the jab.
Experienced professional. And Ben's trying to duck and dive with the shots, but really not having much success, to be perfectly honest.
Well, that was by far and away Malinga's best moment in this contest. And you get the feeling that there might just be a glimmer of an upset on the cards. Ben needs to be much, much more positive than he has been in the opening 5 rounds. We're in the back stretch now, round 6 at the National Indoor Arena in Birmingham.
Nigel won't need telling that, you know, the fight is really up for grabs, because there's really nothing in it at this stage. And Nigel really needs to have some big success by nailing this guy on the chin and letting the shots go.
Well, you took the words out of my mouth there, Jim. You were saying there's not much in it. I was going to say, if you made out a case for Malinga being in front, well, it would be difficult to disagree, maybe. Like that.
He's so accurate now. You know, he's got his range, he's finding Nigel with a right hand, he's setting him up with a jab, and Nigel's standing for it.
And although Ben looks to be throwing a lot of leather, if you keep your eye on Ben's jab, so many of them are falling short. And Malinga's counter-punching so well.
It's the accuracy of Malinga's right hand, which for me spells danger for Nigel Benn at the moment. He only throws it when it lands.
Well, I know that Chris Eubank will be watching this. And Chris, I suspect you're enjoying this hugely, watching your old foe having a tough time. Incidentally, talking of Chris Eubank, his title fight against Ron Essett in Portugal, June 27, live on Screen Sport, of course.
You know, this type of style that Nigel's employing here, you know, would be music to Chris Eubank's ears, because to try and have a boxing match at this pace is not Nigel Benn. Nigel Benn is, as you know, he's the Dark Destroyer, the big puncher, who puts the fear of God in people in the same way Mike Tyson did early in his career by swarming all over them and blasting them to the boards. And in a boxing match, these guys like Malinga, Chris Eubank and so forth, are going to be very difficult to outbox. But I must remind people listening that the power of Nigel Benn can change things so dramatically with one hit.
Well, end of round 6, while we tot up our scorecards. Let's have a look at a couple of Malinga rights. Jimmy.
Which Malinga's right hand, there it is, bang, right on the target. And it's the accuracy with the right hand, which I've already said, spells danger for Nigel at this present moment in time.
Round 7 then, live at the National Indoor Arena in Birmingham.
I honestly believe it's easier physically for Nigel to box with this style, which is a more patient style. Obviously improves his boxing no end, but you know, for a success ratio, and to get these guys like Malinga out of there, I'd rather see him steamroller them. It suits Malinga, this stuff, Dave. One nice even pace, mid-distance, sizing one another up.
There's Nick Durant in the Malinga corner, watching anxiously, having a little drink out of the water bottle himself.
This is better stuff from Benn. He's beginning to get accurate now, not just with the jab, but he's looking to like set him up for the left hook as well. And he's needed to sharpen his act up. He was coming off
very
second
much
best.
so, very much so. Because he is constantly getting out jabbed. And again, you have to ask yourself, is it really wise for Benn to move up the super middle? Is this obsession with Chris Eubank maybe a little too powerful? He's a natural middleweight, is Nigel Benn.
This for me has been Benn's best friend. He's been sharper, he's been very accurate, and Malinga has just dropped his work rate a little bit, and he hasn't been getting on so successfully with the counters. Good right hand from Benn that time.
At the moment, they're bouncing off, though.
I don't know whether Malinga is trying to use his old head to have a sort of steady round, as it were, for a grandstand finish. Certainly a sharper round from Nigel Benn.
A good quick chopping right from Malinga as Benn was coming in. He's wide open to these right hands tonight, is Benn.
Mustn't get sloppy, Nigel. He led with a right hand there. Come a little bit square, and Malinga would have come back with a counter. He could have copped it.
But it was a good round for Benn, despite that.
Yes, very good round for Nigel Benn. In my eyes, that's been his best round of the whole contest. Certainly his sharpest. Let's just see Nigel Benn. You see, leans over to his left and throws the right hand over the top. Good quality shot. Landed. More of a scoring shot than a power blaster, which we've come to know Nigel for.
Have you got it scored at the moment, Jim?
Well, after that round, it's now been pulled round again. I just had Malinga's, believe it or not. After 4 rounds, I'm dead even. After 5, I had Malinga edge, 1 round in front, and now it's all back, level pegging.
That matches my own scoring exactly. I've got them absolutely all square with 3 rounds to go. Too close for Nigel Benn's comfort. Round 8 then. Nigel Benn in the red boxing boots. Malinga in the white boxing boots. Scheduled for 10, remember, at the National Indoor Arena, Birmingham. Referee is Paul Thomas from Derby in England.
See Nigel's corner looking up urgently. I wonder what they've instructed him in the corner, because he obviously must feel the fight's too close for comfort.
Well, we feel that way.
And Malinga still looks very, very comfortable.
I can't tell you, those of you watching in Europe and further afield, just how much of a disaster it would be to Nigel Benn's career if he lost this one. He'd lose his #1 ranking as challenger for Chris Eubank's title. Big money dreams of a rematch with Eubank, they'd go out the window.
And with a big mortgage to pay as well. Got the pound note signs to think of as well. I'm sure Nigel's business-minded in that respect, and he can't even think about coming second tonight.
For me, Benn is doing too much posing and not enough punching.
Good shot from Malinga on the counter.
And Benn is getting a little bit bewildered in this contest.
I think it'd be fair to say he's becoming slightly frustrated as well, Dave. Anything he's tried, Malinga's basically had an answer to. But I still don't think that Nigel's hit him flush with one of his knockout blows.
No, Malinga's taking this round.
Nigel's over-relying on a fast left jab, but Malinga matches it.
Well, before this contest, Benn boasted that anything Eubank could do, he could do better. Here we are in round 8. Let's not forget that in the 5th round of their world title fight, Eubank had Malinga on the floor. Benn hasn't managed to deck his opponent so far, but with his punching power, only a fool would rule that out. But with 20 seconds left in round 8, Malinga's taking this round.
Malinga certainly absorbs a good shot. And Nigel does get through. He comes straight back with the counters.
End of round 8. David Brenner and Jim McDonnell with you live at ringside of the National Indoor Arena in Birmingham. This broadcast going to Screen Sport viewers all over Europe, to SABC in South Africa, Prime Network in the USA, and of course to Star in Asia. And we perhaps, as Jimmy and I were saying in that inter-round break, perhaps on the brink of a real boxing sensation, the real possibility of a defeat for Nigel Benn.
Nigel really needs to inject something into his work now, Dave. It could be a disaster for him if he doesn't.
I have him behind on my card. Just by 1 round, but behind nevertheless.
I'm sure in his own mind he must be feeling it's too close for comfort. I've got to do something. Malinga has one fault, a good crafty pro. He's whipped himself into tremendous condition and he's come to get Benn on his record. Wow, there's the frustration, Dave, I was talking about.
He's I think realises now that he might have to stop Malinga to win. He's getting wild, he's getting frustrated. Malinga is a different prospect to the man who fought Eubank. My goodness, he is.
I don't like to see Nigel sitting on the ropes. Malinga's too accurate for that.
Once again, Benn's head gets jerked back by that so accurate left jab of the South African.
Benn needs to fire the hooks because he can't out-jab this kid. Malinga's got a good quality, well-schooled left jab. Two good shots from Malinga caught Nigel flush.
And Malinga is taking this round too. And Benn, having been out-thought, is now in danger of being out-fought.
Malinga's proved more than a handful. He studied Benn, obviously, in great detail on video. In his own work, looks like he's going to pay off for him at the moment.
He's like a nest of scorpions, Malinga, at the moment. Dangerous and all over Benn. The crowd, well, Malinga's silence then. Anxious whistles. It's been a superb round for Malinga.
Nigel looks very tired as well.
He looks tired, bemused, bewildered, and dare I say it, beaten.
Malinga's looking to pull it out now.
Last 10.
Hasn't been a good round for Nigel.
Well, Jimmy, we must face up to the possibility that we are going to have an absolute sensational defeat for Benn.
You know, you can never count out a puncher, like we always remind people, and Nigel really needs a punch now like he's never needed one before, because, you know, Malinga has performed above anything we've expected, really. Just look at the accuracy here, Dave. There's the jab to set Nigel up. There's another jab. Do we see him cross the right hand? No, not this time. He certainly did. You can see him here just stalking in front of one another, playing catch as can. There's Malinga. Boom. Basic shot. 1-2. Right down the pipe. And that's the type of performance he's been putting on.
Well, let's not lose sight of the fact our scorecards don't matter. Only that of referee Paul Thomas's matter. But I have Malinga 2 rounds in front as we go into the 10th and final round. And Benn needs a big round.
He may need an 8, 9, 10 round. I'm sure Malinga knows he can't make mistakes himself and just keep countering, get the left hand to work, wait for the onslaught to relinquish and come back with the counters. He's found Nigel reasonably comfortable to hit, I would imagine, to what he expected. probably anticipated a different type of fight, Malinga. Good right hand, flush. This could be an upset, though.
I think it is. I think it's going to be.
Let's not forget, you know, the split verdict with Chris Eubank. And now is he going to cause the upset and get the #1 position?
He is far more authoritative tonight than he was against Eubank. I didn't think I certainly did not think that Malinga beat Eubank. I do think he is beaten. He is beating and has beaten Nigel Benn.
Well, his crowd, you know, his corner are believing it as well, because they're absolutely rooting him on.
They can hardly contain themselves, the corner. This is an even-ish last round.
Nigel really needs one of these blockbustering slammers now to nail this man to the boards, but
He hasn't really connected all fight.
fair play to Malinga. Good, solid
Absolutely.
professional.
You can only fight as well as you're allowed to, and Malinga hasn't allowed Benn to fight the kind of fight that we know so well.
It makes you question, I know it's a crazy question, Nigel as a super middleweight as opposed to a middleweight.
Well, this is what I've been saying all along, Jim. I think he's made a mistake dogging Eubank, moving up to super middle. I think he's far more effective as a middleweight.
Has Malinga got the upset?
Well, we shall know soon enough. This could be a terrific night for South African boxing. Benn trying to pull it out.
It's in the home straight now. It's in the lap of the gods. The last 30 seconds of the contest, and
Now, are we 30 seconds away from Benn's third defeat? Malinga prepared to punch it out with him.
I remember him pulling one out against the Jamaican at the Royal Albert Hall once when he needed it desperately.
Oh yes, against Anthony Logan.
The stakes are the same now.
Last 10.
Well, the referee's the only man who knows.
Oh, he's given it to Benn.
Benn's got the verdict.
Oh,
It's
he's
got
a
to be
lucky,
close.
lucky man.
The corner remonstrating desperately. They feel their man done enough.
A few scattered boos, I must admit, gave Benn the last round. I made Malinga the winner. I made him the winner by half a point, 1 round. We will get Paul Thomas's score in a moment.
But Nigel will be relieved that he's got the win.
Here's the score.
97.5 to Malinga, 98 to Benn. Benn is the
Oh,
winner.
it's just a half-point margin. I had it half a point. That's 1 round in Malinga's favour. Paul Thomas scores at half a point, 1 round in Benn's favour.
But sugar by Malinga, tremendous performance.
It was a tremendous performance. I'm sure Nigel will go away from this contest, look through the tape and realise that he can box and perform a lot better than that. But full credit to Malinga. You're only as good as you're allowed to be.
Benn throws one of his boxing gloves into the crowd. Few scattered boos, has to be said. Well, what matters is Paul Thomas's verdict. He says Benn won. That is what will go into the record books. World title challenges remain on course. But I tell you, I reckon he's a bit lucky, Jim.
Well, you know, you've got to look at it as you see it, and I'm sure Nigel will put his head on his pillow tonight and be very totally honest with himself and realise that yes, he had a lot of luck with him tonight.